talking. It's me and you talking, Shima.
Maybe before we even go into conversation, we could just have a moment to honor our lineage of Dakinis and call the sky dancers to be with us this day.
Yeah, this is a piece already. Let's call the Dakini. Would you honor me?
Sure. So I open the sacred circle above us of empty awareness. I open the sacred circle between us of the awakened heart. I open the sacred circle below us, O Maha-Yoni, beloved Lingam, to do our holy work this moment. And I call and honor our beautiful lineage of Dakinis, of sky dancers. Hey, come bring your beautiful song to us. And sing your wisdom through our voices. Yeah. Bring your wisdom, your visions, your true knowing, and the vibration of desire, so we can find our way into the Dharma, to the way of the true nature of our energies. And I call also upon us our beloved Dakas. Dakas, how smitten I am with you, awakened masculine energies. Come bring your beautiful tools, your skills, your precious, precious guidance as we find our feet in the Dharma. Maybe we've crossed some obstacles in our conversation together. Please help us on our way. I honor this lineage. I honor this lineage with all of my heart. I'm so grateful to you, Dakinis, Dakas, sky dancers, sky heroes. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be here, sitting by the river with this beautiful, beautiful woman, Valentina. You inspire me so much, Valentina. I'm so grateful for you, all that you do. I bow my head below my heart. Namaste.
Namaste. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma. Jai Mama. Jai Mama.
Jai Ma.
Mama. Ooh, Mama. Ooh, Mama.
Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Jai Ma.
Wow. Right. Yeah, time really... I feel so blessed right now sitting here with you, Shima, and listening to your blessing and the sound system in the distance that reminds me I am at a festival. You know, like always that memory that there is so many people celebrating. And a live stage where people improvise and dance and workshop and body in space, a lot of activity of the body and happy people. And I feel the Dakini, the sky dancer, giggling inside of me. Like, she's so activated in that joy, the theater of life, the celebration of the arts, you know, in the lineage of Kashmir. Shaiva is in the Tantric is the artist. Yeah, the true artist is a musician and a dancer, poet, theater player, Abhinavagupta, that was one of the master of this lineage. So, you know, when I'm at the festival, I really feel like I'm in a festival of performer and freedom holder. So lots of Dakinis and Daka and tightrope walker and lover and dreamers. And I feel there are all these artists of love, of this quality. Yeah, so definitely the Dakinis, the sky dancer, are all here. I see them everywhere.
It's full of sky dancers here. Full. But as you speak, I immediately drop into the Mahamudra of the Tantra. For me, is of course the sky dancing and the sacred lovemaking. The Mahamudra, where I suppose so many people, on our planet have gone, Tantra is not necessarily about sex, and there's almost this like reaction that Tantra is about sex, where in my view, all of the Tantra that we do leads us to this great Mahamudra of the sacred sexuality, where whether it's in form or in energies, and of course very much both, it can be the sacred masculine, divine feminine are merging in union. And in that great union, in that great love meeting, creation happens. And so when we manage in our own bodies to find that mudra being the shape we make to reflect the existential truth of existence inside our form, so that mudra we make in the love making, we come to know ourselves in that moment as divine, as those that bring creation into form. And everything you just said before that feels like so much of that practice. How do I bring song? How do I bring poetry? How do I... All that performing is the practice of creators.
Yeah.
And then for me, it does finally rest in the Mahamudra of sacred sexuality, where in that moment when two conscious people truly land in the center of that Mahamudra, creation is happening. In the unseen and even in the seen. And so for me, this is the kind of essence.
The nectar of the teaching, I call it. It's just that exquisite nectar, because it is the lovemaking and has a lot of fluidity of bodies. So nectar, I like it. It represents humanity in his... Also, I imagine this condensate drop of human consciousness that drops into the Mahamudra. Bless it. And creation, the ripple. Yeah.
And as you speak, and as I feel in my heart, I know like you and I, we make ourselves available, and we work with sometimes many different types of people and groups, and we be present and available where there's other sky dancers or sky heroes, I like to call them. The hero, the one who's willing to go on the journey.
Yes.
He's got to have the heart, the courage, that great heart to go on the journey. He's a true hero.
Yeah, it's the hero journey. That's why I think skydivers also is good for beginner. It's so scary. It's like jumping off an airplane, Yeah.
But what I come to see, of course, is that some people, for some of us, it is our path to share and teach with other people. And some people, perhaps, they might just have a very intimate personal practice at home. With themselves, or perhaps with another. And that meeting, when they've really moved into a sacred space with one another, even if they're not working with anyone else, if they're really in their true practice, they're finding those nectars. They're blessing this world with their lovemaking.
With their ojas.
That is their offering. Their lovemaking becomes their offering without them having to work with anyone. For some people it will be like that, perhaps.
It's the true translation of what we say, making love. In that moment there is a making of a texture of reality. They're making a new injection or drop of love into humankind consciousness. They're making love. Reality after a day meeting in the Mahamudra is changed. It's not going to be the same, the creator in that moment. And so they're making the love, consciousness, more of it, of that quality, of that texture. Come from that purity. So yeah, they don't need to address anybody individually. They are immediately intimate with reality, with their lovemaking.
Well, what is so magical about this, the gateways of a woman's yoni, into the womb. Of course, there are many gateways, and I know this is not a conversation necessarily about each gateway, but just in what you're speaking of right now, there is a gateway in the center of the womb that we know, of course, which in the Taoist lineage they speak of the Dantian, and it's this spiraling gateway that reaches into the stars in the center of the womb. And this is the gateway where life enters your body, when you give birth to life, to children. But when we have approached Maha-Yoni in such a way where we've brought like our exquisite presence, our exquisite love energy, we've brought these gifts to her, we've offered our true authentic desire to enter the temple, it's possible this gateway opens in the opposite direction and we can move through and of course meet our original essence, see where we are coming from in existence, see existence as such. So we enter into the stars, and in the same way we also call that energy back through this mystery gateway.
It's a portal and it moves both directions.
That's right.
And as I'm hearing you talking, I've got this image. Is it called Nut? That Egyptian goddess, that her body is the sky, and often there is the outline when you say star in the belly. She's got all star in the body, and the sun to come out of the mouth in the morning, and inside her yoni at night.
That's her. Yeah.
That's her.
Yeah. I met her one day on mushrooms inside my body.
Nut, is that her name?
Yes, yeah. And so, but that's what you're speaking when you're speaking into that nectar.
Yeah.
It's coming from that portal in the woman's womb. And what we start to see as we practice deeper and deeper into the sacred sexuality, we start to see that the far greater existence is the one, could say, behind us, inside of us. That this external existence that people are playing in, where we constantly put our attention outwardly, is this, it's slim, you could say, compared to the great one behind us. And so when we enter this beautiful dimension through this portal, that's when we can birth worlds in this world. Yeah, like you say, you know. But that's how it is happening. That's how it happens in the sacred sexuality, when we approach this temple in such a way, in such an authentic way, that the gateway opens. The energies can come through, or we can go into them. Yeah.
That's the erotic wisdom in those moments, in those portals that inform the next movement of the body, of this erotic experience of being human. So it's through the eroticism that we get the wisdom, because the human experience, it's only erotic, really. Even mind is erotic, you know, people that are a lot in their mind, but they get turned on by their mind. So there is a response that is fully of the pleasure of the body in the direction that we take in life. And so in that Mahamudra is also visible and, you know, drawn out there, make into immediate visual understanding. Well, I guess immediate for some is very complex.
But if we want to say, like, what the question that appears to me as we talk into this, what might appear in other people, they're going, well, how would I possibly reach that gateway? You know, how do I reach that? How would that happen? You know, and we have so many practices, but the one practice I'm playing with a little bit at the moment, which of course many people are playing with, So there's I'll just go into it it's a bit long, but I'll share if you like. Of course, is the first practice, which is many people's consciousness is turning to, is that Maha-Yoni is a living being in the body. She's alive. She's the goddess living inside of you. And that, like any dear beloved, you've got to treat her in a particular way and engage with her in a particular way. And of course, the beloved Lingam is also an alive being in the man's body. And these two beings, they know one another. They really know one another, and they know like how they like to dance with each other. And of course, they're in the evolution too. We have to remember everything is in the evolution. And they also are learning sometimes how to meet, and maybe it's been some few thousand years where they really met really beautifully, and so they have to move through some of that trouble that's been, or conditioning. But one thing that's important to realize is that to get the idea or the vision that there's the yoni in the woman's body, and then there's the personality of the woman. The same with the man. There's the lingam, and then there is also the man.
Yeah.
And oftentimes there's a fundamental split between the yoni and the woman, and the lingam and the man. There's a split.
It's called personality.
Yeah, personality,
gets in the way.
Yeah. All these things. It's false conditioning, you know. So the yoni, for example, she might, she can change. But let's say today she's feeling very soft. She wants to meet very gently, lightly, slowly. She's not even interested in an orgasm. She's not interested in that. She's just interested in lying on the water and riding the gentle waves flowing through with her lover. Perhaps she's interested, but she just wants to ride a few soft waves. She doesn't want to even catch a wave, you know? And she's got that kind of desire. And the woman is like, no, I would like a passionate meeting, and I want to feel desired, and I want to have hard sex, or I want to have huge orgasms.
The personality, because then it means many things. Then if I have 5 or 6 or 7 orgasms, I'm emancipated, I'm empowered more than that one just lying in the water, catching the soft waves. Exactly. The personality, is the one that wants more, that wants lots of it, that has lots of story about it, that clash with the quiet often.
Exactly. The personality is seeking what she has been taught by her culture.
Yeah.
That will bring her some vision of herself.
Yeah.
Instead of turning her energy away from the cultural information, even if the culture information now happens to be Tantra culture, because there's also Tantra culture forming on our planet, right? Like there is a Tantric culture which maybe is a little bit away from the deep mystery schools. There's a bit of a Tantric culture happening, and it's also informing men and women maybe how they need to be sexually. Instead of saying, you know what, you're here on this planet to write your own love story. There's no one who can tell you what love story that you come here to live. You come here to live your love story.
Beautiful, I like this.
And it could be anything. It could be one partner, no partner, many. You can write a story, live a story no one's ever seen before.
You can have a love story with a tree, or multiple people, or but I love this. You come here to write your own love story, so
that's what you come here to do.
Expansive in all potential, and surprise me. No, like I can imagine also the divine creator. We are all so individuated, so it's got plenty of different variety, unexpected, unimaginable love story that the divine can enjoy.
Exactly.
That's art.
And the whole of existence, it celebrates, it loves it when you actually find your love story, not informed by your Dakini, your guru, your mother, your father, your priest, it doesn't, no one must inform you. They can guide you. They can guide you through your resistance, your obstacles, your confusion, your illusion, your being entrained to the culture way of thinking. They can help you free yourself from those things, so you can live your love story. But no one can tell you what your love story is. Nobody can tell you. Nobody can tell you what your love story is, and you can only really find that once you turn your intention outward. You bring it back into the self. That's when you find your love story. And it will, maybe you write many love stories. Maybe you write many love stories in this one body.
Yeah, or maybe only one. Maybe it's a big book, one novel. Maybe it's a multiple tragedy or adventurous or a little bit of everything. But to feel freedom, someone that can think like this is to claim ultimate freedom to this living. Yeah, I'm writing my love story. Yeah. And when you say reality loves you for it, and humanity too. Sometimes, actually, maybe sometimes people are also criticizing extreme love affair, but I feel that also when someone really finds their joy, their erotic joy, freedom, authenticity, people tend to like that person. Also. People recognize their freedom and they like it. They want to be with them. There is also that piece that sometimes we are afraid to be fully ourselves, and actually I like people that are fully themselves, and it seems other people like them too. We recognize them here and there, and the community sees them, and I don't know, you know what I'm saying? It's also humanity, because they serve humanity, like they serve reality, because they are fulfilled with the nectar of their own self. And we come back to where we started, the Mahamudra, the joy of being one with myself. Right now, look also like a lover. And a lingam and a yoni, the duality, the unity, this all constant cycle.
Creation,
But itself, the joy, the mudra is like the posture in reality that now we're going to take, that to celebrate the joy of being with myself, or to know who I am, or to fully dissolve myself into me, or to be drunk by my own true nature. How do you feel it like that? I think then is that ripple like, And reality wants that. I'm sure it's happy, and I feel human too. That's when you say, then you don't have to work individually, you just kura.
And the thing why you say people love these people that have found their true freedom is because as one walks along the path, there does come a part where to write your love story, you need to individuate from the culture, from your tribe. And there's a lot of emphasis at the moment as to find your tribe, to come back to your tribe. But even once you find people you're truly resonant with, if you want to find your true nature, you will need to individuate. It doesn't mean you must stop relating with people and not, go to the tribal gatherings and so forth. Yeah. We are here at this wonderful one right now. But it takes tremendous courage to individuate. Yeah. Those first steps to individuate, because those first steps actually, in the beginning, are sometimes very lonely. As you start to individuate, and people maybe are not relating to you so much, you're not fitting in so well, maybe you're not wearing the same clothes anymore, seeing things in the same way any longer, individuating, it takes so much courage. And so for someone who's on the path and they're coming to those steps along the path where they start, like their soul knows, they know, like the only next step for me is to individuate. There's no other
There's no options.
That's the only thing in front of me. There's no left or right turn. I must individuate now. They can feel, wow, and some people stand there for a long time. They can't move. It's too scary. And then someone comes along who did it, and they're like, okay, you did it. Yeah. And then they get the courage.
Infuse the vision of my future, like to see others that do it, they make it, they remind me that is at the tip of my fingertips. They inspire me that I can also step, individuate, and do, when they show the freedom, they inspire a possibility in the future, in other words, also I'm feeling this piece in this aging, and it's interesting also writing new love story as we grow older. Because in my growing up, we never had story of elder people in love.
That's
what
true.
What do they do?
That's true.
Is Granny fall in love with someone? Would she write love letters? We isolate old people that they lost the juice of life. We've taken away their wisdom of eldership. And we think they're not sexual enough anymore, and therefore they have no more wisdom. And I feel like, so I don't have role models of really people in the erotic body, they are maybe 75, 85, some. Yeah, I love Jodorowsky. I don't know if you know Alejandro Jodorowsky. It's a visionary. He's 85, makes movies and write poetry. He invented psychomagia, psychomagic, theater and healing. You would like him. Yeah.
No, it sounds wonderful.
Yeah, so he's 85 and still moves and talk with ardor and passion. And there are some, but not many, you know. And so I feel we pioneer in this piece as well. I really love your inspiration now that we're writing them, this love story. And so this was my piece. So the moment we're acting them out, we're creating a potential of repetition for the future. It's like a neural pathway in the brain. First time you do it is hard, it's difficult, it's scary. You have to practice. And then second time, 2 people. Third time, 3 people. You know, like 3 times in your own brain, or in our example of rewriting New Love Affair, 3 people doing it so differently. It's narrow pathway into the network of the humankind collective intelligence, and now we're writing new possibility for the future, new potential, because someone is start, really embodying the new teaching.
Just on the age thing, in my experimental life, I try very hard to. I really bring my attention to not seeing age in people.
That is true.
I do this intentionally because I know that what's behind the flesh is some eternal soul of a magnitude I cannot begin to imagine, that it takes lifetimes to meet your own self. So I do explore, like maybe I have a lover who's 20 years younger, or a lover who's 20 years older than me, or friends. I try to make friends with very young people sometimes. They sometimes are a little bit unsure, but sometimes it happens where we just have a beautiful soul meeting, and I've connected with someone who's 17 years old, like I did here at the festival. We had this tremendous, beautiful connection that totally surprised me. And what I notice as well in the years between humans, when you step back a little bit and you drop your idea of this one is a child, this is an elder, this is that, blah, we try to take a little of the label away. There's not that much difference between a 20-year-old and a 70-year-old, actually.
I know.
Not that much.
The more I get to explore,
especially currently.
Yeah, the more I find that, exactly.
It's not so different. And yet, I think we are coming to a time where we're going to return to, we all come with so much knowing, but we have to remember it in the flesh, and that does take some time. So someone who's lived 50, 60, 70 years, they can have a kind of gravitas, that they have had this remembering drench their flesh. If they are not rigid and, like our past generation, sometimes it feels like people were quite rigid and not open and so forth.
Very inflexible on many aspects.
But what
from the hips to everything else,
What happens if someone has great wisdom and they have a beautiful lineage behind them, let's say, like yourself, and then they spend a lifetime of practice embodying and remembering and teaching and sharing and receiving, and then they take some even more years and they still with us, if we're lucky, when they're 70, 80, 90, whatever it is. What an extraordinary, magical treat to sit with such a human being and receive from them. Because in our culture, we've been taught that maybe as you get, the younger people have got more to offer. Often I feel that in people's attitudes. But actually, of course, someone coming in with a new design and new information has got a tremendous amount to offer. But somebody who's also coming with a lot of information, and that's dropped into their bodies, and they've been living it, and they still happen to be alive quite a lot later. Wow. What would they be able to give to us? And I think we really start to realize that, because there's a lot of human beings that have that now, that are not rigid, that are open to spirit, that will just keep deepening however old they are. And it's like it's a very fortunate time.
I think so too. actually, I'm really excited about this time on the planet and thrilled about what is to come. And a lot of people, I have a lot of worries. I hear premonition and diddy-da. I just think we're living in really amazing time. Me and you sitting here like in the center of all this energy moving and what's coming and what's unfolding with us, around us, that can accompany us into the future. I'm excited.
But then again, if we come back to sexual eroticism and this amazing Mahamudra of the creation, of the creator we are all creators, and we find that in our sexual union, in our sacred sexuality, when we are in that space, if we take a moment to pause and have a look in our own being, where perhaps we don't honor the Great Mother, or we forget to pick up our own rubbish, clean our own shit, where we take a moment in our deep meditation space, even our sexual meditation, to have a look at that and see what is it in our being that doesn't say thank you to the mama, that doesn't give our deep gratitude to this mother. And we find that that scratch, that resistance, and we let that drop. Immediately it can change in this dimension, and immediately this earth can change. Change can happen faster than most of us can ever imagine. It can happen when we're doing our holy work, because that's where it's really at. When you do your holy work inside your own body, inside the sexual alchemy, it's instantaneously
that's the magician,
in form, instantaneously.
That's like holding the key to true magic. You now are one with the mind of reality. Like you crack the code, and so it's instant. As it change in you, it change in reality.
Absolutely. It's remarkable. And just spiraling back a little bit, if you like, to the conversation I started with, the split between the yoni and the woman, or the lingam and the man.
Yes.
I love spiraling. It's wonderful.
Bring us back. That's lovely. Yeah.
I just bring us back because that's such a key. It's such a key in everything we're speaking today. That when when you start to see there's a split, like in a man, for example, with the lingam, with the penis is so incredibly sensitive being. Like one of the most sensitive beings to ever exist, right?
It's so exposed. It's so exposed. In life. Like the penis come out. There is no hiding of its true movement. When he's in bliss,
it's quite vulnerable. Hey?
It's very vulnerable. Everybody can see. It's like it's pure truth in that sense, So vulnerable, tender. I agree.
And then men are in the culture, and they're culturized, you can say, to a little soft, but does it get louder on other things? So with the man and the lingam, there's that split between the lingam, who might really want to find actually more ways to drop deeper into the vulnerability of being seen, into the great sensitivity of his being, where he can feel everything. The lingam can feel. That's how he can respond and be a masterful lover, through his feeling. But unfortunately, our culture at the moment is suggesting strongly to men that a good lover is someone who's quite fierce and uses the lingam as a hammer. And then this beautiful sensitivity is lost. It's like it's really, and it's quite challenging for men to find it again. I've noticed it doesn't just return instantly.
It's terrifying, because they've been hammering the deepest tenderness. They've been hammering the pure innocence of feeling everything. So how do you get it back? Not easy path. I feel you. I hear you. That's so true.
So men and women need to maybe bring an inquiry, if they like to, into the split between the man and his lingam and what he thinks he wants and what the lingam wants, and this woman and her yoni and what she thinks she wants, but what the yoni actually wants. And in a way, in the sexuality, we kind of get out of the way a little bit, you know. We're there, but we get out the way because these two beings know much more about sex than most anyone else
it's their
does.
job.
And then we watch and see how they meet, and maybe they just lie still together for hours. This can happen. I've been in this meditation recently where they just join. I'm not even entered by the penis, and we just lie like this for maybe 2 or 3 hours and breathe and feel, and you walk away feeling so intimate and so fulfilled and joyous from such a moment. And you know that the lingam and yoni were tremendously happy to meet like that. So I just suggest this as an inquiry today. I offer it as an inquiry, as a way of returning to sacred sexuality and to this Mahamudra of knowing yourself as a creator in this great meditation of lovemaking. To really look at the split, this great split. What have you been taught you should like? What have you been taught you should desire? What have you been taught how sex should look like? And remember, you're always here to write, to live your own love story. And if you can't engage some of the key characters of the love story, if they're not allowed to have a voice in the love story, the beloved yoni lingam, then how can you? There is where the character you kick the
don't
characters.
have the story.
You
don't have the story.
Yes, you need to call the characters back.
And let them talk, as you say. And listen to them. They will make the story. They will tell you the story.
And just, I won't go so deep into it now, but just the other characters that are really important in the love story, of course, are the heart. Deep meeting with the heart is necessary for the sacred sexuality, and spirit. With these three, the sexuality, the heart, and spirit, that we're embracing all these three aspects of existence, of these characters, of these beings, then you can write and live the most beautiful love stories you could never even imagine. But begin simply, don't run ahead, begin simply with finding, how am I split from my yoni? What does she actually want, and what do I think, and what do I put on her? How am I split from my lingam? What does he really want, and what do I insist
How do I judge?
Insist upon him.
How do I judge the desire of my body, and in good, bad, and shouldn't, and more, less? That's the big piece. Thank you.
It's such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Such a pleasure.
It was a fantastic transmission. Beautiful piece, and writing the love story, your own love story. Thank you.
That's
be our
so
motto. Inspiring. Because sometimes even having done so much work also with sacred sexuality, and with embodiment for me, 20 years from beginning dancing and moving and yoga, 26 years I've been doing yoga, so the body for me was engaged long. In sexuality, I keep finding that peace that, oh God, is it still there? Have I still got some tightness there? Oh, a little bit of the collective mind seeping through me. Oh, do I still judge my sexuality sometimes? I still do. It never goes, I wonder, hasn't gone away completely for me too. Very seldomly so. Now I can really see it and recognize the flavor of it, and what part of me is speaking. There is that girl that wants attention, or I'm sensing that I'm afraid, or slight power game. I feel less, so I move more. I'm doing a lot of movement here. Why? I'm uncomfortable. Interesting. Because there is this idea that once you know. And for me, this is the beauty of the Mahamudra, that is in forever expansion and continuation, like the universe, in all direction, in the ripple of endless orgasm that always happen. That's reality. and when we meet some, we can always meet more, and it's continuous. So it always pushes me to my next edge. So it's continuously rippling me into getting to know more of me. So when I think I know something and I'm comfortable and I've worked that aspect of my sexuality, or my little girl, or my projection, or daddy, I'm done with daddy work, and then boom, something come again,
Spiral.
and the body quiver, and it's like, that erotic wisdom, that knowing, not a little piece for me again. I need to stretch a little more. Okay, more to let go, and
So
beautiful dance.
I completely understand fully what you're saying, this collective wounding coming through now, and it's coming through now more than it has, so there's even more stuff that wants to be healed now in our bodies. But I just want to make a suggestion, because it's a really big piece you just call in right now, and it's affecting a lot of women on our planet. What I want to suggest is that what's just come through this just before is actually, I feel it's really essential, and I'm going to suggest maybe we pause.
Yes.
And this, what you just bring in, we can do another conversation.
One. Absolutely. We start from here.
Yeah, it's such a big piece. So, but this other piece is so important. It's just So let's receive that one that comes through, and then I'd love to, if you like, we can make another time and go into this other discussion. Is incredibly important, and for many women it's coming up what you're speaking right now, many, as you know.
Awesome. So how the conversation inspired the next topic, as it should be.
Yes.
So we're going deeper and deeper. So we stop now. Here.
I feel like
it's done.
Yes.
Gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you, Valentina. I honor you so much. You are my inspiration, my love, my joy. I feel flowers falling on your head in gratitude for all that you bring, all that you do. Thank you for us, this wonderful moment together.
Thank you for unfolding with me by the river in this lazy late afternoon of the beginning of 2020, 1st of January today.
Can I close the circle as well? I close the sacred circle of empty awareness. I close the sacred circle between us of the awakened heart. I close the sacred circle below us, O Maha-Yoni, beloved Lingam. I thank our lineage, Dakini, Dakinis, coming from the pure lands, dancing and singing their songs through our beings and bodies into this dimension. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to these beings. Thank you so much for the beautiful song you sang today. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to be in this work. I'm so grateful to you, Valentina. I bow my head below my heart. Namaste.
Namaste.